All right, welcome back. It's been a while since I posted a video here analyzing Bitcoin's price using ICT concepts. I have posted a little bit in a WhatsApp group that I have, and where I always post these videos as well. So I'm gonna address what I put up there most recently, as I recall, because I haven't checked it before beginning record. Um, and yeah, and we'll just take it from there. So we're looking at the monthly time frame. Every candle is 1 month. This is the November 2022 low of about 15,500. And this is the October 2025 high of about 126 and change. And this is marks off the full range from 2022 low to 2025 high. Equilibrium is 50% here, which is this red line as well. That is the full range equilibrium at 70,876. So as of right now, price is above full range equilibrium. Earlier this month, we were still below. Okay. Now, a few things that I think are important to notice, and we're going to start at this highest time frame and move our way down. As I pointed out on I believe it was the last video, don't recall exactly, but once price closed below the open of this final push higher, this final leg higher, that put Bitcoin into bearish price delivery. This gave us a bearish market structure shift on the monthly time frame, which you might consider the highest time frame, although you can go to 2 months, 3 months, a year, I suppose. But on the monthly time frame, which is quite high enough for me, we are in bearish price delivery, right? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive down close candle months. On the fourth one, we closed below this level, causing a bearish change in the state of delivery. And as far as I'm concerned, until we turn that around, we're still in bearish price delivery. That doesn't mean that we won't see price rise significantly during, in this time. It doesn't mean people can't make a lot of money going long, even short term. My view on Bitcoin really is very simple: buy and hold for at least 5 years, and be willing to watch it drop about 80% during that time. Just be prepared, and if that's too much, then buy less. And buy and hold for at least 5 years is my view. Let's look at a little more of what we have over here. On our way up, we had this consolidation here, finding support in this monthly BISI. This gray box is simply marking off the range of optimal trade entry. That would mean that if price were to retrace into the optimal trade entry levels before going higher, it would be inside this gray box. So that's what that is. We marked off the weekly order block over here, although I guess it's a monthly order block as well. Though suppose we can't consider it from up over here. So on that from that point of view, the monthly candle did come down inside this bullish order block and arguably find support. These blue lines are just levels that price may be drawing towards for liquidity below, except this is the order block. This is the October 24 low. It's or relatively equal lows because it's relatively equal to the February 2026 low. So there's definitely lots of liquidity lying below this level, 58,933. And it's still I consider this still likely that we will go below the February low, especially because we see how close it is to the October low. We also have these two lows here. Whether we go that far, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if we're going to go here or not. I'm just presenting my analysis. Now, what would we need to see in order to feel that we've changed around and gone bullish on the monthly time frame? I suppose, and I'm not 100% sure about this, but if we close on a monthly basis above this SIBI here, okay, that SIBI, the low of that candle is 83,814. So that's the high of the SIBI. If we close on a monthly basis above that, arguably that's a change in state of delivery from the perspective that we've inverted this bearish SIBI and becomes a bullish inversion. Will that be sufficient, strong enough? Again, I don't know. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on things on the lower time frames as well. Let's drop down because I don't believe that we have to, by necessity, get all the way up to here, 113, close above on a monthly basis, above this leg lower for us to be confident that we are in a bullish price delivery. Let's go down to weekly. Okay, we're looking here on the weekly time frame now. Again, this is the equilibrium, the midpoint of the entire range from the low of 2022 to the high of 2025. And there's a lot here, so I'm going to just point to it slowly. So first of all, we have the range from this high down to this low, from the all-time high down to this low. Let's mark that off here. And this means that from approximately 93,200 and below, we're still in discount from this range. So 93,200 and below would still qualify as discount in this range. We have over here, we have a bearish breaker. We have this the high and a low, higher high and a lower low. And I'm looking at this specific area over here. Let's make that thicker so it's easier to see. Okay, that is the bearish breaker that we have here, which would begin at the 84,000 level. Let's put that back to where it was. And now let's take a look at this current bearish breaker, which we are inside at the moment. And this is from further back in history from March 2025, a little over a year ago, where we had a low and a high and a lower low. So the breaker is this move lower here. Bearish breaker, we closed below it, and now we're coming and testing inside it. Previously, we came up here, can kind of see that. This is the level there. The last time that Bitcoin rallied, we came up inside right above the April 7th low, closed below. So we wicked above it. There were no bodies inside, no bodies closed inside the breaker. This time we may be seeing a similar advance up to this low here, the November 21st, 2025 low, which is, what is this? I don't actually remember what that is. I'm just going to take it off. Which is slightly below the 50% of the breaker. So if we wick above that and body stays below, then we're observing that the body is respecting the breaker. I'm going to move this back a little bit. We have this SIBI over here. BISI, which became a bearish inversion once we closed below it. And we're going to watch to see if we close above that on a weekly basis as well. It could be that we close above this. That would be a bullish sign. And then we look to see if we close above the midpoint of the breaker, which is here, and so on and so forth. We're looking to see signs of continuing bullishness versus signs of weakness. And of course, how price reacts at all these points is what will let us know whether whether we are retracing before continuing lower, or whether we have hit the bottom, and next we can expect price to take out our previous all-time high and put in new all-time highs. Let's drop down now to daily. All right, we're looking at the daily here, and I have to admit that I misjudged around, I think it was here. Whoops. I think it was this drop here. I think this was my last post inside the WhatsApp group when I said that we'd come back above these highs, came back above, dropped below, wicked up into the SIBI over here, daily SIBI, just didn't even touch the midpoint of this SIBI here just by eyeing it, closed below, and I think it was around this point on this day probably where I said that I expected we were going to go lower, maybe a little bit higher. I think is what I marked off, a little higher, and then drop, take out the February low. Now, we went a little higher, but then we just went higher and higher and higher. And therefore, I have to fall back to my earlier analysis, which included the breakers, which I've talked about in previous videos, certainly even weeks before that. And so now, again, as I said a moment ago, the question is, where from here? Now, the reason why I thought we were going to take out the lows because we do have these relatively equal lows here, and we have the liquidity lower that we pointed out at the very beginning of this video, monthly time frame, as well as looked at a little bit on the weekly as well. So those, we do have arguments for going lower. Question is if we will. It's still definitely a possibility. And really the question now is how high will we be going before either we retrace lower or before we conclude that this is in fact a reversal and the low is in, as I said a moment ago. So on the daily, we're looking for the same types of things, or the same things really that we talked about on the weekly. A few things that we notice: we have this daily SIBI over here. Arguably, this would be a measuring gap between, in the midpoint of this daily range. So it's just a little bit above the 50% mark there. And yesterday we wicked into it, but closed below it. Today, so far, we're drifting a little bit lower. Who knows? We'll see. And then next, we're watching to see what happens in terms of, are we going to close above the measuring gap? Are we going to come into the 62, the optimal trade entry over here, and then curl back lower? That optimal trade entry level overlaps with the bearish breaker on the daily, and that's what I'm watching. So again, are we going higher or going lower? Right now on the lower time frames, 4-hour and daily, we're definitely seeing bullish momentum. What we don't know is it a retracement or a reversal? And I'll be watching that with you.